not to be disputed that we are in a dangerous position today. This is a very good white paper. The opening paragraph sets forth a most admirable declaration. But what is there behind it? £130,000. Very fine words. It must have taken the cabinet a long time to agree to them, with the Air Minister drafting them and passing them round. They give great paper satisfaction. But what is there behind them? £130,000. It is not the slightest use concealing the facts. The Undersecretary has given some of them. The Liberal member who spoke on the benches opposite gave some, as I thought, most disconcerting and alarming facts about air warfare and the growth of air armaments. We are, it is admitted, the fifth air power only, if that. We are only half the strength of France, our nearest neighbor. Germany is arming fast, and no one is going to stop her. That seems quite clear. No one proposes a preventative war to stop Germany breaking the Treaty of Versailles. She's going to arm. She is doing it. She has been doing it. We do not have any knowledge of the details, but people are well aware that those very gifted people, with their science and with their factories, with what they call their air sport, are capable of developing with great rapidity a most powerful air force for all purposes, offensive and defensive, within a very short period of time. Germany is ruled by a handful of autocrats, who are the absolute masters of that gifted nation. They are men who have neither the long interests of a dynasty to consider, nor those very important restraints which a democratic parliament and constitutional system impose upon any executive government. Nor have they the restraint of public opinion, which public opinion indeed they control by every means which modern apparatus renders possible. They are men who owe their power to, and are indeed the expression of, the bitterness of defeat, and of the resolved and giant strength of that mighty German Empire. I'm not going to speak about their personalities, because there is no one in the House who is not thoroughly aware of them and cannot form his own opinion after having read the accounts of what has been happening there, of the spirit which is alive there, and of the language, methods, and outlook of the leading men of that tremendous community, much the most powerful in the whole world. German power is in their hands. They can direct it this way or that by a stroke of the pen, by a single gesture. I dread the day when the means of threatening the heart of the British Empire should pass into the hands of the present rulers of Germany. I think we should be in a position which would be odious to every man who values freedom of action and independence, and also in a position of the utmost peril for our crowded, peaceful population engaged in their daily toil. I dread that day, but it is not, perhaps, far distant. It is perhaps only a year, or perhaps 18 months distant. Not come yet, at least, so I believe, or I hope and pray, but it is not far distant. There is still time for us to take the necessary measures, but it is the measures we want. Not this paragraph in this white paper. We want the measures. It is no good writing that first paragraph and then producing £130,000. We want the measures to achieve parity. The honorable gentleman opposite spoke so many words of wisdom, seemed to me to mar the significance and point of his argument when he interposed in it the statement that he was not committing himself to any increase. But this is the stage. I do not say today, but within the next week or so, the turning point has been reached, and the new steps must be taken. They are very special dangers to be feared if any great power possessing dominions and connections all over the world falls into a peculiarly vulnerable condition. How many wars have we seen break out because of the inherent weakness of some great empire, such as the Habsburg Empire or the Turkish Empire when they fell into decay? Then all the dangerous forces become excited. No nation playing the part we play in the world and aspire to play has a right to be in a position where it can be blackmailed. I say I would not dwell on the past, but I must repudiate the unfair attacks which have been made lately upon the Secretary of State for India. He and I have very grave differences, and I personally shall carry them to their conclusion, but to charge him or to charge Lord Trenchard, to whom our small but admirable Air Force owes so much, with having failed in their public duty, is monstrous. At any rate, as Chancellor of the Exchequer, responsible for 5 budgets before 1929, I must entirely associate myself with the Secretary of State for India, then Minister for Air. Next to the Lord President of the Council, then Prime Minister, I share the responsibility for what was done or not done in those years, and I am prepared to offer a detailed and, I trust, vigorous justification, or I hope vindication, if it should be desired in any quarter. But the scene has changed. This terrible new fact has occurred. Germany is arming. She is rapidly arming, and no one will stop her. None of the grievances between the victors and the vanquished have been redressed. The spirit of aggressive nationalism was never more rife in Europe and in the world. Far away are the days of Locarno when we nourished bright hopes of the reunion with the European family and the laying in the tomb of that age-long quarrel between Teuton and Gaul, of which we have been the victims in our lifetime. That hope is gone, and we must act in accordance with the new situation. Here I address myself particularly to the Lord President. I say nothing in derogation of the high responsibility of the Prime Minister, but I address myself particularly to the Lord President, as he is in his place in the House. He alone has the power. He has the power not only because of the confidence which is placed by large numbers of people of the country in the sobriety of his judgment and in his peaceful intentions, but also because, as leader of the Conservative Party, he possesses the control of overwhelming majorities of determined men in both houses of the legislature. My right honourable friend has only to make up his mind, and Parliament will vote all the supplies and all the sanctions which are necessary, if need be, within 48 hours. There need be no talk of working up public opinion. We need not go and ask the public what they think about this. Parliament and the Cabinet have to decide, and the nation has to judge whether they have acted rightly as trustees. The Lord President has the power. If he has the power, he has also what goes with power. He has the responsibility. Perhaps it is a more grievous and direct personal responsibility that has for many years fallen upon a single servant of the Crown. He may not have sought it, but he is tonight the captain of the gate. The nation looks to him to advise it and lead it, to guide it wisely and safely in this dangerous question. And I hope and believe that we shall not look in vain.